Hello and welcome everyone. I'm the Upper Down, aka Tud, and today we're going to be playing some Slay the Spire. Today we're going to be playing as the Silent. Alrighty, let's see what Meow has in store for us today. Okay, we can transform a card, obtain 3 random potions, obtain a random rare relic, or obtain a random boss relic. 21 health we would lose in order to obtain a random rare relic. Let's take a look at the route here. We do have an empowered mini-boss. We would have to go through 2 regular combats before we get into the shop. It might be worth going for the rare relic here. Now, no matter which way we go, we do have to fight 2 mini-bosses, though. Alright, so let's go ahead here and go with the 3 random potions. I don't usually like to go for the transform a card option. It sometimes can be worthwhile. Actually, let's give that a shot. Let's see what happens. Well, let's go ahead and transform one of our defend cards. We have Survivor, which will give us some block to make up for losing the defend. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. We got Acrobatics. Draw 3 cards and discard 1. Alright, hopefully that'll come in handy for us. Only time will tell. Alright, let's start out with Neutralize here to weaken the enemy. We also have drawn Survivor, so we will get a full block out of this. So let's go ahead and double strike. We'll play Survivor here and discard a defend. Doesn't necessarily matter because we don't have any more mana left anyway. Alright, a full block for us there. 25 health remaining on the enemy. Let's double strike once again. He's going to go ahead and increase his strength by 3 and gain 6 block as well. So 19 damage needed to take him out. Unfortunately, we did not draw enough for that. Let's go ahead and double defend here. I could strike for 6, but he has 6 block, which will fade at the end of the turn anyway. I could use Acrobatics here. Alright, we have a full block, and we've now made it 100% for us to get Neutralize on the next turn. 5 block gained. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with Neutralize here, just to get some of that block whittled down, and then we'll strike for 6. Alright, we have him down to 9. He's going to go ahead and gain 9 block and 3 strength as well. So 15 damage we need to deal here. We have drawn 12. We could play Acrobatics for the chance that we get Neutralize in the next hand. 17 attack is not good for us. Unfortunately, we drew another strike. And I only have enough mana to play 2 strikes for 12. And then we would take the full 17. We don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and double defend here, and now we've whittled the damage we're going to take down to 7. We have just enough between Neutralize and Strike. Alright, we have Dagger Spray for 4 damage to all enemies twice. We have a 0-cost Slice, and we have Blur. Gain 5 block. Block is not removed at the start of your next turn. We definitely want that. We're going to need that in the mini-boss fights we're about to encounter. But first, let's take care of these 2 enemies here. Let's go ahead and start out with a double strike. We could neutralize on the enemy in the back, but we wouldn't have enough damage to take the enemy out in the front. Alternatively, we could play 3 blocks for 15. That would give us a full block, but we wouldn't have much in the way of damage output. Let's go ahead here and double defend to start. We'll neutralize on the enemy in the back to whittle him down to 7. That's 2 damage we'll take now, and we can throw a strike out as well on the enemy in the front. We will have to take the 2 damage, but that's fine. We'll drop down to 61 health. Alright, we have drawn Survivor here for 8 block. We also have Defend for another 5. Let's go ahead here and play all of our defense cards. We have now made sure that any extra block will carry over into the next turn, so we don't have to fret about block as much. We'll carry 6 block over with us into the next turn. And we have gotten Blur once again. Let's go ahead and neutralize on the enemy in the back to whittle him down once again. So 12 damage incoming here. Alright, let's go ahead and play Blur. We will strike at the enemy in the front and play Survivor here for the additional block. And we'll get to carry 7 block over into the next turn. Alright, if we can take the enemy out in the front, we can. Let's get the Slimed card out of the deck. We actually, I'm going to strike at the enemy in the back here, because we already have a full block. We don't need to worry about taking out the enemy in the front right away. We got 1 weakness applied to us by the enemy in the back. We've drawn pretty much all strikes. Let's take out the enemy in the front here. I could double strike for 8 damage, I would take 7, or I could play Acrobatics for the chance to get a Defend card. Let's go ahead and do that. We have drawn Defend, so we will get some block out of this. Doesn't really matter which one I choose to play. We're going to take 2 damage here, dropping down to 59 health. 7 damage incoming here. Let's go ahead and neutralize the enemy, dropping him down to 5. Unfortunately, nothing in the way of attacks. Alright, 10 damage incoming here. We have drawn Blur once again. Let's go ahead and play that and our Defend here for a full block, and then 6 damage. We're going to whittle him down little by little, while trying to take as little damage as possible. No attacks incoming this time. Let's go ahead and full strike to take him out. We got a Fire Potion for 20 damage, as well as a new card. Endless Agony, deal 4 damage. Whenever you draw this card, add a copy into your hand. We also have Slice at 0 cost for 6 damage, and Footwork, gain 2 dexterity. Let's go ahead and pick up Slice here as a 0 cost card. Into the shop we go with 129 gold. Unfortunately, we can't afford any of the relics here. I would have loved to have had the Giria. That'll give us a permanent strength buff. Alright, we could pick up Infinite Blades here at the start of your turn, add a Shiv into your hand. Let's go ahead and grab that, and we can also pick up Blade Dance. Alright, let's go ahead and grab that as well. That takes all of our coin. Into the question mark room we go. Shining Light. You find a shimmering mass of light encompassing the center of the room. Its warm glow and enchanting patterns invite you in. Upgrade 2 random cards in exchange for 14 health. We do have a mini-boss coming up, an empowered mini-boss at that. So on the one hand, we could use the power-up to our cards, but on the other, it is random. So the odds that it will be of use to us aren't necessarily great. I don't think we can afford to trade the health when we're heading into such a powerful fight. You walk around it, wondering what could have been. Into the next question mark room we go. We have yet another shop. Unfortunately for us, there is a really nice card here that we will not be able to pick up. Into the empowered mini-boss. Ah, one of our worst enemies. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start out with a Blur. We'll pop Defend as well, and Infinite Blades. That'll give us our Shiv each turn. We'll get to carry the 10 block over into next turn, which is nice because we won't have to play the skill cards and give him strength on our next turn. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with a Neutralize here, weaken him a little bit. Play our 0 cost cards. We have him down to 10. Let's go ahead and throw a fire damage potion. We've got him down to 49 health. He will heal for 3, though, at the start of his turn. Or rather, the end of his turn, I should say. 6 damage incoming this time around. Let's go ahead and neutralize once again. We will double strike, play Blade Dance to get our shivs. Unfortunately, that is a skill, so he did gain some strength from that. But we've gotten him down at least to a quarter health. Big damage incoming this time around. Let's go ahead and strike and slice as well. Got him down to 8 health. Unfortunately, we don't have any more attack cards. Let's play acrobatics and see what we get. We drew 1 attack. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to take him down. 27 damage incoming here. Drops us down to 26 health. 5 health remaining. We have enough damage to take him out. 31 gold. We got the Fossilized Helix. Prevent the first time you would lose HP each combat. That's going to come in handy. The Emerald portion of the key. And a few cards to choose from. Fletchets. Deal 4 damage for each skill in your hand. Prepared. Draw 1 card and discard 1. And Terror. Apply 99 vulnerable. Let's go ahead and pick up Terror here. That card can be upgraded, I believe, to make it a much cheaper option. Now, we are sitting at 26 health, and we will be heading into a mini-boss, so we do need to heal here. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money to really do anything in the shop. We could pick up Sneaky Strike. Deal 12 damage. If you have discarded a card this turn, gain 2 mana. While that is nice, it isn't something we can really afford to spend the money on at the moment. Into the next room we go. Whenever you add an attack into your deck, upgrade it, or the Sapphire portion of the key. Getting the Molten Egg on the first floor is crucial for us. That'll allow us to automatically upgrade any attack we add into the deck. Alright, we have ourselves another mini-boss here. Looks like we did get Infinite Blades in our starting hand. Fantastic timing. Alright, so we will automatically block the first attack that we receive. So I think it's worth just going all out on damage here on the enemy in the front. We have him down almost to half health. We are sitting at 47 out of 70 health. Alright, 9 damage coming from the enemy in the front and the enemy in the back this time around. Let's go ahead and neutralize the enemy in the back. Actually, we're looking for damage here. Let's go ahead and neutralize the enemy in the front. We don't care necessarily about the weaken effect. We'll go all in with our strikes here. Actually, we would get 8 block from Survivor and 5 from Defend. I think it's worth here actually going for the defense. That puts us at 13. So we'll take 5 damage, dropping down to 42 health. More dazed cards added into the discard. We'll have to be careful of that going forward. Alright, Shiv. We'll go ahead and play Blade Dance as well. Let's pop Blur and Defend. That gives us 10 blocks, so we'll get to carry 1 block over into the next turn. We've taken out the enemy in the front. Let's start working on the enemy in the middle now. Full block for us here. I imagine all those dazed cards are going to start to come back to bite us now. Alright, let's go ahead and neutralize. That'll wear out the artifact he had into a Shiv. Let's go ahead and play Acrobatics here to draw some cards. We have drawn pretty much everything we need now. We have a full block. Get rid of a couple of dazed cards from the deck. He's about to add a couple more to the discard pile, though. 9 damage coming once again. We have drawn a decent hand. We can take him out here directly. Alright, now we only have to worry about dazed cards being added to the deck every other turn. 9 damage incoming here. Seems like a good opportunity for Blur. And Defend to give us a full block. Alright, let's go ahead and play Shiv into Blade Dance. We could play Terror here, but his artifact will block all applications of the debuff, so we'll hold off for now. We only need to deal 10 damage. If we draw 2 strikes, he's out. We did not draw 2 strikes, but we did draw a strike and a Shiv, so that will do. 30 gold, we got the Tough Bandages. Whenever you discard a card during your turn, gain 3 block. That'll help us out a lot. And a 12 block potion as well. Cloak and Dagger, gain 6 block, add 1 Shiv into your hand. We also have Noxious Fumes. At the start of your turn, apply 2 poison to all enemies. And Blur once again. That is a tricky one. I'm torn between Cloak and Dagger for the extra Shivs, and Blur for the block that's not removed at the start of the next turn. Having another copy of this in the deck would be useful for us. Let's go ahead and pick up a second one here. Into the next enemy combat we go. We have 2 enemies, each with Curl Up. Let's go ahead and start out with a Slice on the enemy in the front. That'll trigger his Curl Up ability. We will neutralize on the enemy in the back to do the same. Go ahead and strike now the enemy in the front. We'll play our Blade Dance. Couple of Shivs will take him out. Strike on the enemy in the back. Shiv as well. We've got him down to 1. Now our buffer will block the 4 incoming damage here. 1 more strike to take him out. 14 gold for us. Couple of new card choices here. Leg Sweep. Apply 2 weak, gain 11 block. Piercing Wail, all enemies lose 6 strength this turn. Or Poison Stab, upgraded. Deal 8 damage, apply 4 poison. A 1-cost card that deals 8 damage and 4 poison is definitely worth picking up in my book. Alright, we could go to the right here for a fire and a question mark room, or to the left for 2 fights, or even further to the left for 2 fires, a question mark room and a combat. So it would be the same either way, whether we go left or right. We just get the fire sooner if we go to the right. Well, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and pick up the ruby portion of the key here. Into the question mark room we go. Scrap Ooze. As you walk into the room, you hear a gurgling and the grinding of metals. Before you is a slime-like creature that ate too much scrap for its own good. From the center of the creature, you see glints of strange light. Perhaps something magical? It looks like you can get some treasure if you just reach inside its opening. However, the acid and sharp objects may hurt. Alright, so we can trade health in exchange for a chance at a relic. We have 42 health right now. We are heading into an enemy combat, and we have a fire before the boss. Let's take a chance here and see what happens. Ouch. All you find is corroded metal and a bit of burning pain. However, you're still convinced there's a relic. Lose 4 health, 35%. We were successful in the second attempt, and we got a pretty decent item. At the start of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemies. Success. After rummaging through the metal and burning acid, you finally grab hold of a relic. And yank it out. You pull your way out of the ooze, damaged, but rewarded. Alright, into the next enemy combat we go. We're sitting at exactly half health. Each of these enemies will apply us with vulnerable on their death. Alright, so 6 damage incoming. We have a buffer here to block incoming damage. Let's go ahead and start out with Terror here on the enemy in the front. That gives him 99 vulnerable. Let's go ahead and Poison Stab the enemy in the back. That'll apply him with some poison. And we can Strike as well. That drops him down to 5 health. He should be taken out very shortly. He will be gone on his next turn before he even gets to attack. So now, let's try to focus down the enemy in the front. Let's go ahead and start with our Infinite Blades. Actually, we don't even need that this time around. Alright, 19 gold. We also get a new card. Concentrate. Discard 3 cards and gain 2 mana. That would work well with our tough bandages. Whenever you discard a card during your turn, gain 3 block. We also have Piercing Wail once again, and Deflect. 0 cost for 4 block. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Concentrate here. Into the fire we go. We might be able to survive this without taking any damage, so I'm going to go ahead and take the opportunity to upgrade a card here. We can make Infinite Blades start in the hand at the beginning of our first turn. So let's go ahead and do that. That is a free 0 cost card for us to deal 4 damage every turn. We'll go ahead and get that set up here. And Double Strike. We still have Buffer to our advantage and a 12 block potion. Big damage incoming here. 18 damage to start. Well, let's go ahead and play Terror here on the boss. That gives us pretty much infinite vulnerable. We have Blur for 5. Blur and Defend would give me 10 block. Now, Buffer's only going to block the first attack made against me. The enemy is attempting to attack 3 times, though. So that would be 12 block that we need. So let's go ahead and pop the block potion. That'll block the first 2 strikes, and then Buffer will take care of the third, giving us a full block here. Or we could play our other 2 cards here. And now we'll carry some of this block over into the next turn, and we get to save our buffer as well. Alright, 6 damage incoming this time around. We have drawn yet another Blur. Let's go ahead and pop that. We'll play our Blade Dance here. Throw out a Strike and some Shivs. We'll go ahead and play Concentrate. That'll discard a card for us, and trigger our bandages to give us some extra block to carry into the next turn. Another burn card added to the discard. 10 damage incoming this time around. Let's go ahead and hit him with a Neutralize. That'll apply Weak. Now we only have 6 damage incoming. We have another Blur. We'll hit him with a Poisoned Stab, a Strike, and Shiv as well. I could have used Survivor there to carry some more block over into the next turn, but that's fine. I'd rather get the damage on the boss quickly. Alright, 4 damage incoming here. Oh, up to 6 now that weakness is worn off. Alright, let's hit him with a Strike. We'll pop Defend, get our Blade Dance going, and throw our Shivs at him. Might as well play Concentrate. Gives us a little extra block. We won't get to carry that over into the next turn because we did not play Blur, but that's fine. Alright, let's go ahead and throw our Strikes at him here. And our Shiv as well. That drops him down to 68 health remaining. He has empowered himself to strength and some block. 14 damage incoming here. We have drawn our burn. And everything we have that costs mana is a defend or block generating card. Alright, we are sitting at 15 block. We're about to take 2 damage from our burn card. So that will expire our buffer. Alright, so 8 damage incoming this time around. We have drawn yet another burn card. Let's go and throw a poison stab here. Let's go all out on damage. We'll take 8 damage here, dropping us down to 25. Enemy is sitting at 13 health. We should be able to take him out. $97 gold, a flex potion for 5 strength for 1 turn, and a couple of upgraded cards. We have Die Plus. 17 damage to all enemies and exhaust. You only get 1 use out of this card. Grand Finale can only be played if there are no cards in the draw pile. Deals 60 damage to all enemies. Very powerful, but also very situational. And we also have Bullet Time. You cannot draw additional cards this turn. Reduce the cost of all cards in your hand to 0. That definitely has its uses. I would say out of all 3 of these cards, the one I'm going to get the most use out of is actually Bullet Time. So we'll go ahead and grab that. Alright, let's go and open the chest here. We have 3 items. I already know which one I'm going to take, but I'll read all 3 anyway. Gain mana at the start of your turn. You cannot play more than 6 cards per turn. Ectoplasm. You gain mana at the start of your turn, but you can no longer gain gold. And Tiny House. Upon pickup, obtain a potion, 50 gold, 5 max health, 1 card, and a random upgrade. Let's go ahead and grab the Tiny House here and see what we get. A Strike has been upgraded. 50 gold, we get the Gambler's Brew, discard any number of cards, then draw that many. That'll play in well with our tough bandages. And a new card. Flying Knee Plus, deal 11 damage, next turn gain 1 mana. Sucker Punch Plus, 9 damage and 2 weak. And Leg Sweep, 2 weak and 11 block. Let's go and pick up Flying Knee here for the additional mana in subsequent turns. Alright, so all we need now as far as the key goes is the blue portion of the key. Let's see what we can find as far as fires go. There are quite a few going down the far left side here. We would be forced into a mini-boss, though, if we go that route. Alternatively, we could cut across the middle here for a second fire here, and a shop near the end. Alright, I think that's going to be the best route to go. Alright, let's start on the far left side here, work our way through the question marks, and then cut across the middle. Alright, to start we have 2 enemies here, each looking to do 10 damage and steal 15 gold from us. Alright, so this seems like a good opportunity to play Bullet Time. You cannot draw additional cards this turn, but you reduce the cost of all cards in your hand at the moment to 0. Alright, let's go ahead and play that. Now we can play our entire hand. We'll get Infinite Blades started for the shivs each turn. We'll get both our blurs going. That gives us a full block on the enemy in the front. And then our buffer will trigger for the enemy in the back. We'll get Blade Dance going and start some poison on the enemy in the front. Try to take him out as quick as possible. I might as well play the defend here because it's in my hand. Full block on the enemy in the front. And full block using our buffer on the enemy in the back. Alright, we did draw Terror here. We can apply that to one of the enemies to increase damage dealt to them. I could also play Acrobatics here to draw 3 cards. I only have 3 mana to work with, though, so that could be a bit of a challenge. So what I'm going to do is play a Defend here. Go ahead and neutralize the enemy in the front to weaken his attack. And then strike the enemy in the back. Okay. And now we can use our Gambler's Brew here to get rid of both our cards. That triggers our Bandage, giving us some additional block. We've drawn some strikes. Go ahead and take out the enemy in the front. The poison should take him down here directly. And now we have a full block. And we'll get to carry one block over into the next turn with us due to Blur on the previous turn. Alright, 3 mana to work with here. We have Concentrate, which will allow us to gain 2 mana and discard some cards, which will trigger Tough Bandages. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and use Flying Knee here into a Splice and Shiv. Okay, so we could get 10 block out of our defense, or we could get 3 out of Tough Bandages. Let's go ahead and use our defense here instead. Alright, 5 damage taken, dropping us down to 70 health. And we have enough damage to take him out. Go ahead and throw a strike to finish it. Alright, we got all our gold back. We also have Liquid Memories. This turn, return a card from your discard pile to the hand, and it costs 0. Alright, we have a few cards here to choose from. Footwork. Gain 2 dexterity. Endless Agony Plus. Deal 6 damage whenever you draw this card, add a copy into the hand. And another Flying Knee. Let's go ahead and pick that up as well. Alright, now for the question mark gauntlet. What will we get? First up, Ancient Writing. Scaling the city, you notice a wall covered in the writing of ancients. As you try to wrap your head around what the puzzling symbols and glyphs could mean, the writing begins to glow. Suddenly, the message becomes clear. Alright, we could remove a card from the deck or upgrade all our strikes and defends. Let's go ahead and upgrade everything. Because why not? The truth is always simple. Alright, into the next question mark room we go. Council of Ghosts. As you continue your ascent, thick black smoke begins to billow out of the ground and walls around you, coalescing into 3 masked forms that start to speak. Another puppet of Niao, I think. Agreed. She always makes the funniest toys. You notice an oversized grin as the third addresses you. Ignore the others. Would you like a taste of our power? Alright, so we could accept receiving 5 Apparition. They are ethereal, meaning if you don't play them right away, they will disintegrate. And you gain 1 intangible. For 1 turn, you will take only 1 damage. In exchange for 38 max health, that cuts our max health in half. I'm going to go ahead and refuse that offer, as tantalizing as it may be. How disappointing. You will join us sooner or later. Ha 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 ha. The shapes fade away, leaving only the unnerving laughter ringing in your ears. Alright, into the next question mark room we go. Cursed Tome. In an abandoned temple, you find a giant book, open, riddled with cryptic writings. As you try to interpret the elaborate script, it begins to shift and morph into writing you are familiar with. Alright, so if we read this book, we will lose 15 health by the end of the story. We are heading into a fight here, but we do have a fire coming up directly after that. And based on the rest of the trajectory here, it looks like we are safe to read this book. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Odd. The book seems to be about an ancient named Niao. This piques your interest, but you have a general feeling of malice. Lose 1 health. The Ancient of Resurrection, Niao, was exiled to the bottom of the Spire. You feel compelled to read more, but your body begins to ache. Lose 2 HP. Seeking vengeance, Niao blesses outsiders, using them for her own purposes. You are starting to feel very weak and tired. Lose 3 health. Those resurrected by Niao remember only fragments of their past. Cursed to fight for eternity. As you near the final page, your old wounds begin to reopen. Alright, in exchange for 10 HP, we obtain the book. At the start of each combat, add a random power card into your hand. It costs 0 for that turn. Alright, so we only get it one time, and it's at the start of the combat. Upon finishing the tome, you decide to take it with you. With proof in hand, will you retain your memories? Let's find out. Into the next combat we go. We have a single enemy here. Oh, we've drawn one of the best cards for this play style. Accuracy. Shivs deal 4 additional damage. We will be generating quite a few shivs, especially with infinite blades giving us 1 each turn. We have also drawn Blade Dance. Alright, let's go ahead here and play our... Well, Poison Stab would take away one of his artifacts. We would lose out on the 4 poison from that. Let's go ahead and play Flying Knee for the extra mana next turn, as well as Blade Dance for the shivs. We'll do 8 damage with each shiv, dropping his armor down to 2. He is about to increase his armor, though. I think it's worth using our Liquid Memories here to pull Blade Dance back and play it once again. And we've taken him out on first turn. 19 gold, as well as a new card added to the deck. We have Finisher Plus. Deal 8 damage for each attack played this turn. That stacks well with our shivs. An upgraded Acrobatics. Draw 4 cards and discard 1. And Sneaky Strike Plus. Deal 16 damage if you've discarded a card this turn. Gain 2 mana. Let's go and pick up the Finisher here. Into the fire we go. We don't need to heal here, so let's go ahead and smith a card. These are our 10 options to choose from. We could upgrade Terror to be a 0 cost and apply 99 vulnerable. We could upgrade Blur to increase to 8 block from 5. We can upgrade Blade Dance for an extra shiv. Upgrade Concentrate for only discarding 2 cards instead of 3. We can upgrade Bullet Time to be 2 cost instead of 3. We can upgrade Blur once again. Acrobatics we've already seen. Neutralize we could upgrade for 4 damage and 2 weak. Or Survivor, we can increase to 11 block from 8. Alright, let's go ahead here and upgrade our Blade Dance to be 4 shivs instead of 3. That'll stack well with our finisher. And hopefully we'll be able to get an accuracy power added to the deck to increase our shiv damage permanently. Vampires. Navigating an unlit street, you come across several hooded figures in the midst of some dark ritual. As you approach, they turn to you in eerie unison. The tallest among them bears fanged teeth and extends a long, pale hand towards you. Join us, sister, and feel the warmth of the Spire. Alright, so we could remove all strikes, receive 5 bites, and lose 23 max health. Now, we have just upgraded all of our strikes. So trading upgraded strikes for bites might not be in our best interest. Bites, however, do heal 2 health, and can be upgraded to heal 3. That is a tricky one for sure. Trading 23 max health, though. Let's go ahead and do it. The tall figure grabs your arm, pulls you forward, and sinks his fangs into your neck. You feel a dark force pour into your neck and course through your body. You wake up sometime later alone. An intense hunger passes through your belly. You must feed. Alright, into the next combat we go. Alright, this enemy is a pain in the butt. He will gain armor each turn based on damage you deal with cards. Alright, so to start we're going to go ahead and use Neutralize. We'll go ahead and play our Blur here to retain block for next turn, get our Infinite Blades going, Now, I could play Wraith form here for 2 intangible, but we will lose 1 dexterity at the end of each turn. So the longer this battle goes, the weaker our defense cards will get. So for now, let's hold on to our cards as long as we can. It looks like replacing the strikes with the bites was a good idea, because they all came out already upgraded. That is fantastic. Okay, so if I play Concentrate now, it'll discard all 3 of my other cards, so I won't be able to make use of the 2 mana there. So let's just go ahead and end our turn here. We'll carry the 13 block with us. He has weakened our attack and defense capabilities here. Looks like 21 damage he's going to try to apply. Alright, we have drawn Bite, Slice, and Shiv. That is 3 attacks that'll stack with our finisher. Now, I could play Blur here. It'll only give me 3 block, and there's no point in playing it, really, because he is looking to do 21 damage to us. Let's instead go ahead and hit him with Terror for the vulnerable. Now we can hit him with our attack cards here. And our finisher will go off 3 times, dealing, potentially, 27 damage. Alright, we have him down to half health. And we've taken 7 damage here, dropping us down to 45 health. Another 21 damage incoming here. Seems like a good time for bullet time. Let's go ahead and pop both our defends here for 12 block. And heal up a little bit with our bites. Alright, we whittled him down to 18 health. Gonna take 9 damage here, dropping down to 42 once again. Alright, we should be able to finish this fight now. Okay, a couple of new cards here. We already have an Acrobatics in the deck. Dagger Spray Plus, deal 6 damage to all enemies twice. And Bane, deal 10 damage if the enemy has poison, deal 10 damage again. Let's go ahead and pick up Dagger Spray. I don't have much in the way of AoE, so we definitely want to get that started. Into the next room we go. It is a chest. Alright, we have Vajra. Start each combat with 1 strength or the sapphire portion of the key. I feel like it would be very challenging for us to pass this up at the moment. 1 additional strength makes all the difference. Let's go ahead and hop into the next room. Our health is almost maxed, so let's go ahead and take the opportunity to upgrade a card. There wouldn't necessarily be a reason to upgrade bullet time to be a 2 cost. It's going to make everything else in the hand cost 0 anyway. Let's go ahead and decrease, I should say, Terror to a 0 cost. Alright, into the next question mark room we go. We have 2 enemies here. Oh, we've drawn After Image. That is a fantastic first card for us to get. Whenever you play a card, gain 1 block. So we'll get that started. We'll go ahead and pop Infinite Blades for our shivs each turn. Alright. So we have 2 mana left to work with here. I could play Blur for 5 block. We'd get 1 extra out of it, so we'd have 7. I could also go all out on attacking and use my finisher to take out the enemy in the back. That would apply us with Vulnerable, though, increasing the damage we take from the enemy in the front. Alternatively, I could pop my Strength Potion and go all out on the enemy in the front, whittling down his block a little bit. There are lots of options to consider. Alright, I'm going to go with attacking the enemy in the back. Let's hit him with Bite. Into Flying Knee as well. That takes him out entirely. Alright, now we slice the enemy in the front. And we can play Concentrate to discard our cards, giving us 6 extra block. Alright, we'll block his first attack with our armor, and the second one with buffer. We have 1 extra turn of Vulnerable here, another 18 damage incoming. And we've drawn Bullet Time. We don't really need to play it, though. Everything in our hand adds up to what we already have access to. We'll go and use Terror here to increase the amount of damage we deal to him. Pop our Defend as well. That puts us at 10, so we'll block the first strike automatically. We'll hit him with a Bite, 13 damage. That whittles down his block by 1. Bite to do it once again, and Shiv as well. We have him down to 11 armor he'll get each turn. Alright, a little bit of an attack here. 5 damage, dropping us down to 46. We should be able to heal that up in no time with our bites. Alright, let's go ahead and throw a Shiv. Actually, before we throw the Shiv, let's hit him with Flying Knee. Whittle down his armor a little bit. Hit him with a Bite here to heal. Big damage incoming. If I hit him with Dagger Spray, we can take him out entirely. Not too bad. We got ourselves another flex potion here. Masterful Stab. Costs 1 additional mana for each time you lose health this combat. Starts at 0 cost and deals 16 damage. We also have Sneaky Strike. Deals 16 damage if you've discarded a card this turn, gain 2 mana. And an upgraded Poison Stab. Let's go ahead and grab the upgraded Poison Stab. 1 cost, 8 damage. Not bad. Into the next question mark room we go. We have 2 enemies here, one of which is a flyer. Alright, so big damage incoming here, 15 total to worry about. Seems like a good opportunity to play Bullet Time. We're also going to go ahead and pop our Flex Potion for the 5 extra strength. That puts us up at 6. Pop our Infinite Blades here. I should have played Acrobatics first. Actually, I wouldn't have had enough mana to do it, so never mind. Okay, we'll pop our Defend here for 8 block. And we can knock the flyer out of the air, or we can start attacking the enemy in the back here. I think it's worth taking the flyer out of the air. That'll decrease the amount of damage we're looking at receiving. He won't be able to attack on the ground. And we've hit him with poison as well. Alright, so I could pop Wraith Form here to avoid taking any damage or losing buffer, but we're going to hold off for now. Alright, we've taken out the flyer entirely. Let's go ahead and throw Terror on the sole remaining enemy. Hit him with Weak as well. Get our Blade Dance going. And let's throw all of our Shivs. We'll play Blur and then Survivor. We'll get to hold on to this 13 block into the next turn. He's applied us with a debuff here. We will add a Dazed card whenever we play something that is not an attack. Alright. We've drawn yet another Blur. Let's go ahead and play that. We'll hold on to the extra mana. Or, I'm sorry, extra armor. Alright, we've healed back up to full. And we get to keep the 18 armor into the next. Just in case we don't happen to draw anything to take him out right away. But we don't have to worry about that. We've taken him out. 16 gold, we got the Blessing of the Forge as well. Upgrade all cards in your hand for the rest of combat. And a new card to add. We could pick up another Terror here for an extra 99 vulnerable. We also have Prepared. Draw 1 card, discard 1 at no cost. And Footwork. Gain 2 dexterity. I don't really need another Terror, but having Footwork for the 2 dexterity would help us out. Into the next combat we go. We have this fellow once again. We have an extra Infinite Blades. Why not? Let's go ahead and make use of that. We'll go ahead and throw out our free Terror. We have 2 mana left to work with. Let's go ahead and play our Blade Dance here for the Shivs. Now, Bite would do 9 damage and heal us for 3, or Dagger Spray, which would do 14. So, let's go ahead and throw Dagger Spray. Neutralize, simply to wear out some of that block. And concentrate, just because it was in the hand. We have him whittled down to 45 health. 21 damage incoming here. Okay, so it might be worth upgrading bullet time at the next fire. But for now, let's go ahead and use Blessing of the Forge. We have it down to a 2 cost. Let's go ahead and play Acrobatics here, get a little extra draw. And we do have to discard something. I guess I'll go ahead and get rid of one of the defends. And now we play Bullet Time to reduce everything to 0 cost. Get our footwork going for the extra block. Alright, let's hit him with our hardest attack first. Flying Knee. Into a Poison Stab to get the poison building up. Alright, so we will take 11 damage here. Well, 7, because we still had our buffer. And that will do it. Go ahead and hit him with a bite here to heal ourselves. We've healed back up to 48. Alright, so we have Leg Sweep upgraded. Apply 3 weak, gain 14 block. We have Prepared once again, and Well-Laid Plans upgraded. At the start of your turn, retain 2 cards. So we get to keep 2 cards in our hand at the end of each turn to carry over to the next. It's between Leg Sweep and Well-Laid Plans for me. Each of them have their own uses. But I'm going to go with Well-Laid Plans here. That'll help us to orchestrate our turns better going forward. Heading into the shop with 468 gold, we can now purchase some relics. At the start of each combat, add 3 shivs into your hand. That is fantastic. Enemies with weak deal 40% less damage rather than 25. And the Abacus. Whenever you shuffle your draw pile, gain 6 block. I definitely want the Ninja Scroll for the shivs. That drops us down to 210 gold. We can't afford the Paper Crane, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and pick up Adrenaline here for the extra mana and draw. That puts us at 61 gold remaining, just shy of Footwork. We have Dagger Throw, 12 damage, 1 draw, and 1 discard. We also have Choke, upgraded, 12 damage. Whenever you play a card this turn, the enemy loses 5 health. If this were 1 cheaper, I would definitely pick that up. We also have a Swift Potion to draw 3 cards. Let's go ahead and pick up Dagger Throw. That gives us the discard, which will trigger Tough Bandages for 3 block. Alright, heading into the fire here, let's go ahead and smith a card. I could smith Adrenaline to make it a 2 mana generating card instead of 1. I could smith Bullet Time to make it a 1 cost. Or Concentrate to discard 2 instead of 3. Lots of options here. Footwork would actually increase our dexterity by 1, giving us 1 extra block. I think the best outcome is going to be Bullet Time here, decreasing that to a 2 cost. Into the boss fight we go. Almost at full health, we have 1 strength to start, and we get 3 extra shivs out of it. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with Envenom. Whenever an attack deals unblocked damage, apply 1 poison. So we'll get poison started up on the boss this turn. We'll get our Infinite Blades going for shivs each turn. Let's go ahead and pop our Adrenaline here. That'll give us 2 extra cards to work with. Alright, let's throw some shivs. I don't have accuracy, so there won't be anything to increase our damage with the shivs, so let's go ahead and get those out. And then we'll play Acrobatics to draw some cards. Alright, gotta choose something to get rid of here. Let's get rid of our Defend. We won't be needing the block this turn. Into Bullet Time. And let's play everything we have. Get Flying Knee out for the extra mana next turn. The player defends because we have them. Poison Stab for the extra poison buildup on the boss. Alright, we have him sitting at 10 poison at the moment. We got him down almost 60 health on the first turn. Alright, so looks like we have Dagger Spray here for 7 damage to all enemies. Let's go ahead and start out with that. We also have a Dagger Throw here. Let's go ahead and throw our Shiv out first. We'll play our Blade Dance. Try to take out the minions first, if we can. Alright, he'll die on his next turn before he gets to attack. We'll throw a Shiv at the second enemy here. And a Dagger Throw as well. We have drawn Flying Knee. So it's between Flying Knee and Finisher. The choice is obvious here. I'm going to get rid of Concentrate, actually. It doesn't really matter either way. We won't have any cards left to work with anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and throw Finisher at the boss. Lots of poison built up on him now, sitting at 18. And we'll hold on to Flying Knee for next turn. Alright, so the first enemy, we've taken care of all damage there. 18 taken from the boss himself. Alright, good opportunity to heal up. Let's go ahead and throw our bites at the boss. Alright, so it's down between Flying Knee for the extra mana next turn, or Poison Stab to build extra poison on the boss. Let's go ahead and throw Flying Knee so we have the extra mana to work with next turn. Throw our Shiv as well. And we'll hold on to Poison Stab and Blur. He's probably going to summon his minions back, if I had to guess. Yes? Alright, 66 damage we need to do to the boss. He does have 20 poison, so 46 damage. Let's go ahead and throw Terror at him. Alright, throw a Shiv as well. That gets him down to 59. Alright, we have him down to 33. Almost enough. Alright, we can take him out on the next turn. We'll go ahead and play Defend just to play it. And we've won. Floor 2 is clear. 101 gold, a Strength Potion, and a new card to add. We have Die, Die, Die once again for 17 damage to all enemies. We have another Bullet Time, and we have After Image. Whenever you play a card, gain 1 block. Now that can be upgraded to be a 0 cost. Or not a 0 cost. That one just starts in the hand at the beginning of turn when it's upgraded. It might be worth picking up another Bullet Time, making it a 2 cost. I definitely see advantages to that. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's open the chest here. 3 items to choose from. Elites drop an additional relic when defeated. Gain mana at the start of your turn. All enemies start with 1 strength. And Calling Bell. Upon pickup, obtain a unique curse and 3 relics. The unique curse is one that cannot be played or taken out of the deck, so it permanently just takes up a card space in your deck. But you will get 3 relics out of this, so I think that's worth it in my opinion. Happy Flower. Every 3 turns gain 1 mana. Every 3 times you shuffle your draw pile, gain 2 mana. And start each combat with 4 plated armor. That is 4 block we get at the start of each combat. It will wear down every time we take damage, but it definitely is helpful in the start. Alright, so heading into the 3rd floor here with 109 gold. We don't need to focus too heavily on shops right away. Trying to keep an eye out for fires here. We have mini-bosses here in both of these locations. We have 2 fires directly connected to them, though. No matter which way we go, we will have to fight a mini-boss, it looks like. We could get out of it right here, though. but we would lose out on the opportunity of a second fire. Alright, let's take a chance here. We're going to start in the middle, cut straight across the far left, and try to get access to all three of the early fires there. Alright, we started out with well-laid plans. We get to retain a card, and we drew our second well-laid plans, so we can essentially keep our entire hand if we want to. Alright, we have drawn footwork here for the 2 dexterity. Let's go play that. We'll get infinite blades off as well. I don't really need to play the second well-laid plans, I don't think. It wouldn't necessarily be worth... Well, it might. 7 block out of Blur, plus 4 from our plated armor. We get to carry 1 armor over into the next turn. Or we can throw some poison at him. Why not? Let's go ahead and go with Blur. We'll carry the armor over, just in case, for next turn. Now, we'll hold on to another Blur here. That is a full block for us. 13 damage incoming this time around. We're going to get another 4 block from our plated armor, putting us up at 5. Let's pop our Blur here. So we're sitting at 12 armor. Just a little shy. Let's go ahead and pop Adrenaline here for the extra draw. We got Terror. And a Neutralize as well to weaken him. Alright, so we have ourselves a full block now. Let's go ahead and hit him with our Shiv, play Blade Dance, and play the rest of our hand as well. Alright, we have him down to 11 health, 4 poison. We don't need to keep this card, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of it. And we retain 3 block. All we need to do is 4 damage, and we have that with Shiv, so that will do it. We'll hit him with Bite, just for the heal effect. Alright, 3 weak, and a new card to add. We could pick up another Dagger Spray here for another 6 damage to all enemies twice, or another Terror. Or we could pick up Acrobatics for the extra draw. We are running into situations where we have a little extra mana to play with, so it might be worth picking up another Acrobatics here. Plus the discard option will give us the extra block. Why not? Let's go ahead and pick up another Acrobatics. Into the next enemy combat we go. We have 3 enemies to contend with here. And a great opportunity here. We have Envenom in the hand, which will apply poison whenever we deal damage. We have drawn Bullet Time. Unfortunately, no Acrobatics to draw with. Let's go ahead and play Bullet Time here. That'll allow us to play our entire hand. Let's go ahead and get Blur started. Our Defend as well. Now, if we play Dagger Spray, we'll take 6 damage in counter from the middle enemy here due to his Thorns. Let's go ahead and play Infinite Blades to get our extra Shivs. Alright, so now we can Poison Stab the enemy in the front. We'll hit the enemy in the back with a Shiv. Alright, we can afford to hit the enemy in the middle once again with a Shiv. Stacking up a little bit of poison on him. Alright, 2 dazed cards have been added into the draw. Not to worry, though. Alright, we have drawn Adrenaline as well as Well-Laid Plans. Let's go ahead and pop Well-Laid Plans here into the Adrenaline. We have drawn a Bite. Okay. Let's go ahead and play Blur here for the extra block. And we'll neutralize to weaken him. Alright, so we've got 8 to work with here. Let's go ahead and pop our Bite. We're going to get 4 block from our plated armor. That puts us up at 7. Let's hold off on attacking for now. We'll hold on to our Slice and Shiv for next turn. Alright, we haven't drawn any block, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and play our Concentrate. We'll get rid of our dazed cards, as well as a shiv, to get a little extra block out of it. And now we can bite, and he's done. Alright, we get Cloak and Dagger, 6 block, 1 shiv added to the hand. We also have an upgraded backstab, starts in the hand at the beginning of combat, deal 15 damage. And a Terror, upgraded. Definitely feel like it's worth picking up a Cloak and Dagger, but having an already upgraded Terror being 0 cost could come in handy. So let's go ahead and grab another one of those. Into the next question mark room we go. Mind Bloom. While walking and traversing through the chaos of the Spire, your thoughts suddenly begin to feel very real. Imaginings of monsters and riches begin to manifest themselves into reality. The sensation is quickly fleeting. What do you do? Alright, so we can fight a boss from Act 1 and obtain a rare relic, upgrade all cards but we can no longer heal, or gain 99 gold and become cursed with normality, preventing us from playing more than 3 cards the turn we draw normality. Alright, let's go ahead and fight a boss from Act 1. Alright, so we need to try to deal 30 damage to this boss as quick as we can to put him into his second phase. Let's go ahead and start out with accuracy here to make our shivs deal additional damage. We'll pop our infinite blades so we get access to some free shivs. We'll play our Terror first to apply him with vulnerable. Alright, I could play Blur to carry the block over into the next turn, or I can start going to town with damage. Let's go ahead and throw a Poison Stab and a Flying Knee as well. That puts him into his defensive stance. Let's wear out some of that armor. And might as well throw a weak potion at him. Actually, let's hold off until the next turn because he's going to attack on the next turn. Alright, now we can hit him with the weak potion. Let's go ahead and throw our footwork out. Might as well play Terror, it's 0 cost. Maybe we can get him above 98 vulnerable. 197, look at that. Okay, we don't have any block yet, so anything we do will take away buffer, so it might be worth holding off for now. We will get to keep our shiv. No, actually, we'll get to keep it in the deck, but not in our hand. That is fine. Buffer will take the 2 damage we would have taken and wear off. So 12 damage incoming this time around. Let's go ahead and start out with a defend here for 10 block. We'll hit him with a neutralize for the additional turn of weak. Let's throw a bite at him. Alright, we have 4 block left. We'll gain 4 from our plated armor. Alright, let's go ahead and play Concentrate here. We'll discard both of these cards, gaining 3 block, putting us up at 10. And now we have a full block. Alright, need to do 37 more damage to him. Let's go ahead and start out with Adrenaline to draw. And we might as well play Bullet Time. Actually, we can afford everything without playing it, so there isn't necessarily a need to do so. Go ahead and play our Bite here. Shiv as well into Survivor for the additional block. That is a full block for us now. 37 armor. Unfortunately, we didn't have Blur. It would have been nice to carry that over into the next turn. Alright, 7 more damage to put him into the next stance. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with Blur so we get to carry the armor over. Definitely want Blade Dance for the shivs. Let's hit him with a Poison Stab. That puts him over into defensive stance. Let's throw our shivs at him. Alright, we've got him down to 62 health with 4 poison. Alright, he has gained Thorns, so we do have to be careful here. We've drawn Bullet Time once again, this time the upgraded version. We have enough mana to play our hand without using it, though. Alright, let's go ahead and play well-laid plans here. We'll be able to retain some cards at the end of the turn. We'll hold on to bullet time. Let's go ahead and play Acrobatics. Okay, that changes things a little bit. We don't need to keep our upgraded Defend. We won't get to carry it with us into the next turn anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and play Bullet Time now to play the rest of our hand. We'll hit him with Bite. Alright, we're going to get 4 armor at the end of the turn, putting us up at 12. Let's go ahead and Flying Knee here. Alright, we managed to escape that without taking any damage. And we get the Captain's Wheel. At the start of your third turn, gain 18 block. Alright, 3 new cards to choose from. Dagger Spray, 6 damage to all enemies twice. Cloak and Dagger, 8 damage. Shiv, and 6 block. Oh, we get 2 Shivs from this. That's very nice. We definitely want that. The final card would have been 12 damage and draw a card at 1 cost. Into the next question mark room we go. Sensory Stone. Navigating through the beyond, you discover a glowing tesseract, spinning and shifting gently in the air. You touch it. A sharp pain flows through you, followed by vivid flashes of a distant memory. Whose memories are these? Alright, a few options here. We can add a colorless card to the deck, add 2 colorless cards to the deck in exchange for 5 health, or 3 for 10. We are going to be heading into a mini-boss fight here. There is a fire coming up, though. I'm going to go with 2 here. Alright, so, Sadistic Nature, whenever you apply a debuff to an enemy, they take 5 damage. That could be worth picking up because we are applying poison pretty steadily. We also have Chrysalis here. Shuffle 3 random skills into your draw pile, they cost 0 this combat. That's not too big of a deal because we have 35 cards in the deck, so the odds of drawing them aren't as good as some of our other options are here. Purity, exhaust up to 3 cards in your hand. That will remove them for the rest of the combat. We could use that to get the Curse card out of our deck, but I'm going to go with Sadistic Nature here. I see a lot of opportunity for it. Alright, and our second card. We can pick up a 0-cost Finesse, gain 2 block and draw a card. Trip, or 2 vulnerable, that'll play in well with our Sadistic Nature, or Apotheosis. Upgrade all your cards for the rest of combat. When this card is upgraded, it'll become a 1-cost, and we are about to head into a fire, so let's go ahead and do that. Triumph! The remains of a ghostly creature sink slowly into the mud before you, barely visible in the moonlight. You have proven yourself amongst your sisters. Standing victoriously, you wait in silence as the others ceremoniously place their creature's skull atop your head. The ritual has concluded. You head towards the Spire. Into the shop we go with 195 gold to our name. Oh, we could pick up Anchor here. Start each combat with 10 block. We could pick up the Orrery. Upon pickup, choose and add 5 cards to your deck. We have Accuracy for 4 extra damage on our Shivs, and Blade Dance as well. We can actually pick up both of those at once. Let's go ahead and do that. We have 92 gold left to our name. Flash of Steel is already upgraded for a 0-cost 6 damage and 1 draw. Or Dagger Spray for 12 damage at 1 cost. I like the idea of having additional draw, but I also like the idea of having AoE. Let's go and pick up a... Let's take a look at the deck actually first before we make this decision. Do I already have 2 Dagger Sprays? I do not. Let's go ahead and pick up another Dagger Spray. And that will leave us with 47 gold. I could pick up Sneaky Strike here for 16 damage, but we're going to pass for now. Into the fire we go. We're sitting at almost full health, so we'll take the opportunity to smith here. Alright, let's go ahead and upgrade our Apotheosis here to be a 1-cost. Into the mini-boss we go. Alright, so the gimmick with this fight, this mini-boss will rotate between taking normal damage and taking only 1 damage every other turn. Noxious Fumes came out at 0 cost, so let's go ahead and play that. Let's go ahead and get Infinite Blades as well. We'll go ahead and play Footwork here for the extra dexterity. I could play Blur for 7 block. That'll at least block the first strike the enemy's about to attempt. Let's throw our shivs as well. Alright, that gives us 11 block. Unfortunately, that will wear out our buffer and we'll take 6 damage. Now he's only going to take 1 damage going forward. 45 damage incoming here. That is enough to take us out entirely. Let's go ahead and hit him with Terror here. We'll go ahead and throw Well-Laid Plans out as well as Defend. Playing Shiv here is only going to do 1 damage for us. Let's go ahead and pop our Strength Potion just because. And Dagger Spray will do 2 damage to him. So let's go ahead and do that. If we play Shiv, it will exhaust, so there's no point in wasting it. We'll hold on to it. Alright, so we won't be able to block the full brunt of this. We did at least survive, though, sitting at 9 health remaining. Unfortunately, he's not going to attack the turn we have the block, but we can play Blur here to hold on to it for next turn. He's back up to normal damage received. Let's go ahead and throw a Poison Stab and a Bite. We'll throw both our shivs and get our finisher at 44 damage, plus the bonus from Vulnerable. So he has dropped down to 44. We'll go ahead and play Concentrate here, just because. We carry 27 block into the next turn. He has added 3 burn cards into the discard pile here. 18 damage incoming. Alright, so we won't be able to deal damage to him, but we can at least use our bites to heal ourselves. Let's go ahead and pop Sadistic Nature for the damage from debuffs. Heal ourselves up a little bit. Pop our Blade Dance to add the shivs to the deck, and we'll hold off on playing them for now. Let's carry 2 of them into the next turn with us. I could pull Bullet Time. We still have 2 acrobatics in the draw coming up. Let's hold on to Bullet Time and a Shiv. Alright, so this seems like a good opportunity to play Bullet Time, make everything 0. And let's take him out. 35 gold. We also got the Peace Pipe. You can now remove cards from your deck at rest sites. We also have Regen Potion for 5 regen. Alright, we have an upgraded Poison Stab, 8 damage for poison. A Deadly Poison upgraded for 7 poison. And Flying Knee for 11 damage and 1 mana next turn. Let's go ahead and pick up Poison Stab. That'll do the most damage out of all 3 of those. Into the fire we go. Alright, so we could use Toke here. However, the Curse of the Bell cannot be removed from the deck, so that won't help us here. Let's go ahead and rest here for the extra health. That puts us back up at 33. Heading into the chest room. We can pick up the question card for 1 additional card from future card rewards. However, this is the last chest, so we need to pick up the sapphire portion of the key here to be able to access the final boss. Into the next combat we go. Alright. We have drawn Bullet Time here. Now seems like an okay time to use it. Let's go ahead and pop that. And we'll hold off on playing Blade Dance because we don't have enough space in the hand yet. Go ahead and play Blur here. I don't have anything to increase my damage, so I'm just going to go ahead and play all my attacks. I'm going to hold off on playing Wraith form. It will give me 2 turns of intangible, but I will lose block at the end of each turn. On my next turn, I'm going to play the regen potion. We'll try to get some health started up again. We have drawn accuracy. Let's go ahead and play that. Neutralize to weaken him a little bit. We've got him down to 18 now. We'll throw our Shiv because it's free. Dagger Spray will do 10 damage as opposed to Poison Stab, which is a little better. Let's go ahead and hit him with Poison Stab here, and our Blade Dance as well. Alright, 13 block. We are looking at 5 damage here. But Buffer has absorbed that. 10 damage incoming. We got 18 block from our wheel. Alright, we have drawn Acrobatics. Let's go ahead and play that. That'll draw 3 cards for us and allow us to discard Curse of the Bell. Let's go ahead and pop Sadistic Nature here. And we might as well play Adrenaline as well for the 1 mana and 2 extra draw. We got Finisher out of that. Alright, let's go ahead and play our Cloak and Dagger here. That gives us 2 Shivs to work with. Throw all our 0 cost cards out at him first. We'll play Bite here for the extra healing. And Poison Stab to stack. Actually, let's go ahead and play a Finisher instead. That'll do more damage. Alright, that drops him down to 135 health. 10 damage incoming. We have 29 block to work with, and we're almost back to full health. Alright, he's gonna, I believe, increase his strength here. We definitely want to use Flying Knee to get the extra mana for next turn. Heal up a little more. Let's go ahead and play Dagger Throw. That'll allow us to draw a card here. We drew Bullet Time. That won't be of any use to us. Go ahead and throw a Shiv as well. And it doesn't really matter what we play. Sitting at 16 block. Unfortunately, we won't get to carry that over into the next turn. 24 damage incoming here. Go ahead and play Apotheosis. That'll upgrade everything in our deck for the rest of combat. Footwork will now give us 3 extra block. I think it's worth playing Acrobatics here. Alright, we got Blur out of that, as well as Well-Laid Plans. We are looking at some pretty significant damage incoming here. Alright, let's go ahead and play Blur here for the block opportunities. Alright, so we're sitting at 18 block. We'll take 6 damage here, dropping us down to 46 health. We've drawn 2 terrors. Let's go ahead and play both of those. Might as well play Concentrate. No need for the defense anyway. Six strength he has gained. Looks like 44 damage incoming. We need to take him out quickly. Alright, we have drawn our finisher once again. Each attack played will increase its damage. And we have enough mana to play all of our attacks this turn. Not that we'll need to. Go ahead and bite to heal ourselves up. That puts us at 50 health. We're almost back to full. Outmaneuver. Next turn, gain 2 mana. All-out attack, 14 damage to all enemies and discard 1 card at random. And Dagger Throw for 12 damage, 1 draw, 1 discard. All-out attack is far better. Into the next fire we go. We don't need to heal here, so we're going to go ahead and smith a card. Seems like a good opportunity to upgrade accuracy for 2 additional damage from all of our shivs. We can also upgrade Sadistic Nature for 2 extra damage every time we apply debuffs. Adrenaline for the extra mana. Or Blade Dance for the extra shiv. I'm going to go ahead and go with accuracy here. Hopefully that works out for us in the long run. Alright, into the next question mark room. We have a shop. sitting at 102 gold. I could pick up another footwork. Distraction. Add a random skill into your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Another poison stab for 8 damage and 4 poison. Or panic button for 30 block, but you can't gain block from cards for the next 2 turns. I usually like to gamble on things like distraction, just for the variety, but I am going to go with poison stab here for the extra debuff causing item, and the footwork card as well for more dexterity. The more block we get from a single block card, the better. Especially against this particular enemy. His gimmick is his intention will change every time he is struck. Alright, let's go ahead and start out with accuracy. It came out at no cost. We can also play our footwork card here. Before we do that, if I have 9 cards in the hand, I can play Adrenaline to draw 2 and gain 1 mana. Alright, let's go ahead and play Bullet Time here. That'll make everything no cost. And let's stack all our cards now. Alright, if I attack him again, I run the risk of him changing intentions to something I can't block. So let's go ahead and go with Concentrate here. That'll discard both our shivs, giving us 6 block to work with. We'll get 4 more from Plated Armor, and we'll get to carry 7 into the next turn. Alright, we definitely need to make sure we change his intention now. The Purple Swirl will end up adding a permanent curse into our deck. We want to avoid that. Alright, let's go ahead and play Well-Laid Plans here so we can retain some cards going into the next turn. We'll throw a Bite to start. Big attack incoming here. Let's Bite once again. Actually, let's throw a Shiv first. It does less damage. Alright, we got him changed over to 22. Let's roll the dice one more time. 15. That worked out well for us. So we'll take 4 damage that will be blocked by Buffer here. We have him down to 96 health here. We're sitting at 4 mana. Let's go and pop Sadistic Nature into a Flying Knee. We've switched his intention. He is now going to do 22 damage. Let's go ahead and pop Acrobatics, see what we get. We did draw Apotheosis. Alright. Let's go and get rid of our Defend here. We'll pop Apotheosis to upgrade everything. Alright, so if I play All-Out Attack, it will discard a card at random. That'll give us 3 extra block to work with. Or we could hold off for now on attacking, since we have a full block to work with. Let's go ahead and pick up All-Out Attack, and we'll keep a Bite as well, just in case we need to heal. Alright, 15 damage incoming here. He does have 12 block. Let's go ahead and pop another Terror. And we can pop our next accuracy as well. We get 10 extra damage now from Shivs. Alright, might as well pop our Defend here so we have a little bit of block to work with. Pop our Blade Dance as well for the extra Shivs. Alright, so we would get 10 damage out of a stab. Alright, we've changed his intention now. He's going to be doing 30 damage. Let's hit him with another Shiv. Got him to 22. Let's keep rolling the dice. Will we see what we like? 15 damage is definitely preferable. We'll hold on to a Shiv and a Bite. I like All-Out Attack for the 14 damage, but I'd rather use the Bite for healing. Especially when we have him as low as he is. Alright, let's throw a Shiv. That'll do 16. And now a bite to heal back to full. Alright, we have an upgraded slice for 9 damage, we have another footwork for 2 dexterity, and another finisher. Let's go and pick up the second finisher. Into the next question mark room we go. We have a combat. Alright, this particular enemy will start out dealing a large amount of damage, and that damage is decreased as he is dealt damage. Go ahead and play Infinite Blades to start. We'll go ahead and play our Caltrops. That won't really matter, but it's 0 cost, so we might as well play it. Let's go ahead and hit him with Poison Stab to get some poison built up. Alright, we won't really need footwork here, but we'll go ahead and play that anyway. Hit him with a Shiv, that drops him down to 4, hit him with one more. Alright, poison works as I initially thought it would. And even though he hits for 0 damage, it still deals strength damage to him. That's good to know. Alright, we have him at 37 attack this time around. Alright, so let's go ahead here, and we don't have anything that will draw for us. So let's go ahead and play Bullet Time here and play our hand. Alright, 21 block, he's going to hit us for 11. Oh, sorry, 4 because of poison. And we'll get to carry the 17 block into the next turn. Plus 35 now because of Captain's Wheel. Let's go ahead and hit him with Terror here. Might as well apply both. We have Footwork here for extra block. Go ahead and hit him with a Shiv and Dagger Throw as well. We drew another finisher. Unfortunately, we won't be able to keep both, as we have to discard one. But we'll be able to make use of one of our finishers, dropping his attack down to 0. Alright, we just need to survive for 2 more turns. We still have buffer. We have drawn Bullet Time once again. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to draw additional cards with, so we'll go ahead and play Bullet Time here and play our hand. Got him down to 0. Alright, doesn't matter what he does on the next turn, he won't be able to inflict damage due to buffer. So I could just end it here. And we survive with no damage inflicted. Alright, we have another blur here. Escape Plan, draw 1 card. If you draw a skill, gain 3 block. And Piercing Wail, to reduce strength of all enemies by 6 for 1 turn. Let's go ahead and pick up the upgraded Blur. Into the fire we go. We already have everything we need, so let's go ahead and smith a card here. We could get 1 additional mana out of Adrenaline, or we could upgrade Blade Dance for the extra Shiv. I think I'm going to go with the extra Shiv here. Into the third floor's boss. We definitely want to play the Caltrops against this boss. We only get to play 12 cards, and then he gets his turn immediately. So let's go ahead and take full advantage of that. Let's play all of our Shivs here. And we'll play Acrobatics as well. Now we have to discard a card. Let's get rid of Defend. Go ahead and play our Infinite Blades because it started in our hand. Now, Finisher will deal 27 damage. And we'll throw our Fire Potion at him as well. We have him down now to 391 health. pretty decent for a first turn. Alright, he has hit us with vulnerable and weak, so we will deal less damage now. 30 damage incoming here in 3 separate attacks. Let's go ahead and hit him with Terror. I should have played Sadistic Nature first, that was my mistake. Alright, we are already at full health, so Bite won't necessarily help us. We get to play 3 additional cards, so let's go ahead and throw a Dagger Spray out first. Bite does more damage than Shiv, so we'll play Bite, and then all-out attack will end our turn automatically. We have 7 block to work with. He has dropped us down to 26 health remaining. 28 damage incoming this time around. We have drawn Acrobatics and Blade Dance as well. Let's go to play Well Laid Plan so we get to retain 2 cards at the end of the turn. Let's also go ahead and play Blade Dance here, as well as Bite. That'll give us a little bit of extra health back. Let's go ahead and throw all of our Shivs. And now we'll hold on to Footwork and Acrobatics for next turn. We're only going to get to play 4 more cards before he automatically ends our turn for us. We don't really need Terror here, we already have that active. We could play both of our Footwork cards, that gives us the extra Dexterity. We also have Cloak and Dagger, which would give us 2 extra Shivs into the deck. Let's go ahead and play that. And I suppose we'll throw an additional Shiv here to end our turn. Alright, what do we want to keep? We want to keep Flying Knee for sure. Might as well keep Acrobatics as well. Alright, another turn of Weak and Vulnerable. Big damage incoming this time around. Let's go ahead and start out with Accuracy here. We'll hit him with Neutralize. So 36 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and play Acrobatics to see what we get. Alright. So if I have to choose something to get rid of here, I suppose Flying Knee is the only option. We have Defend here to play as well for the extra block. I could throw Bite for 3 healing, that would put me at 24, plus the 15 and 1 from our plated armor. Let's go ahead and pop Blade Dance instead. We'll fire off all of our Shivs. We have him at 9. Alright, let's pop our Slice here. That puts us at 11, and then Consecrate for the extra block, and that'll end our turn. Unfortunately, that was the best we could do. We were shy 2 block, 3, and we would have survived. You are slain. Not quite the top. Alright, and that does bring us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube. If you're watching from Twitch, or if you're interested in checking me out on Twitch, please feel free to drop me a follow. I do stream 5 days a week, Tuesday to Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday as well, from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. EST. If you miss me one day, don't fret. Feel free to drop in the next. Alright, until next time.